Sure. I must say, I said a few months ago that I will do a vlog regarding homeschooling sometime. And I think today was the perfect day to do this vlog. There's two families that lives in PE, and they are busy with a whole documentary regarding homeschooling. And that is to, first off, just to give people an idea of what homeschooling is all about, what's really going on, what do you do as a parent when you homeschool, questions people may ask or may have, just share, some of the awesome things that happen while those families that participated and could be part of, the documentary, just to share. And I think what was very important today was the fact that it was so informal, and even the crew was homeschooled by their parents, which is awesome. So I'll put that link on my Facebook page as soon as the documentary is finished. Now, I must say, I think when you talk about homeschooling, there is a lot of confusion or misperceptions. Now, I was also one of those. My thoughts regarding homeschool, because I wasn't homeschooled, regarding homeschooling was that if you homeschooled, then it's like, it's all the Amish people, you're like this Amish, family that homeschool, that wears, weird clothes, maybe clothes that belong to their grandparents that was in a suitcase up in a cupboard. They're weird and different, and yeah. But I mean, it is everything but that. So before we moved down to the Western Cape, we were in Pretoria, and we were part of the Pretoria East homeschool group. And that was, they became family. None of my friends or my family homeschool their kids. So the friends I've made that homeschool is friends, or the friends I have that homeschool is the friends that I've made through these homeschool groups in Pretoria, as well as now here in Helderberg. And I think what is awesome is that your family, so the support structure is there. Now today, these two families, sorry, my back is so sore. These two families made a documentary, and they traveled from PE. They also did something in Joburg, and then they toured now, like, through the whole, Cape, from the Eastern Cape right through to the Western Cape. And I think what is great is that it is these two homeschool families that had this awesome experience of homeschooling, and they just wanted to share some of those awesome things, and they want other parents that homeschool to be part of it. So they asked me to share why I started homeschooling specifically. Now, I was pressured for time because I was the last one, and as you know, my English, I can speak English, my English isn't bad, but if I I'm like, okay, you have 2 minutes. Then it's like, I feel the pressure, and I don't like that. So, but at least I could share why I started homeschooling. Now, when my kids were little, they stayed with me, and I've spent so much time with my kids. There's so much photos and videos with me and my kids, and I treasure it. And I'm so thankful for my husband for giving me the opportunity to spend so much time with our kids. And my business was to give parenting courses, so it was very flexible as well. And when they were little, we had a domestic worker that slept in, so if I need to go somewhere, I could just leave them with her. And I don't really know why I've put them in the pre-primary school or in the creche, but because social wise, I mean, we were part of, Clamber Club, and we've made friends with, at the hospital with other moms. So, and I'm very social, so I've reached out. So it wasn't that they didn't socialize. But anyway, Pio was about 4 and Christian was about 2 years old when they went to a pre-primary school. And then one day I got this call from the teacher, and she said, please hurry up, come get Pio at the school. He's bleeding. He just started hitting himself in the face. And I'm like, what? And that's all she said. And I was like freaked out. So I rushed to the school, and I'm like, okay, what happened? But she spoke to me, but I didn't really listen because I was just I just wanted my kid to be okay. And when he came down, or settled down at home, and the next day when I went earlier to speak to the teacher, I asked her what happened, and she said no, there was a fight between Pierre and another boy, and she gave them time out, but the time out was in front of the class, and the kids were sitting on the carpet. And now I know if I get angry, I don't, you have this adrenaline rush. Some people have it, other people, they don't get angry that easily, and if they get angry, it's like, was that anger? So, but if you're one of those that if you get angry, feels like you can break a wooden spoon, then you have that adrenaline rush. So I could understand, and because at that stage I was giving the Evergreen Parenting courses for about 4 years, so I understood his temperament, I understood the different types of misbehavior, and I knew that this was him experiencing anger, and he is not he's not yet emotionally developed as maybe he should be, or whatever. It's a growing process, and some emotional issues or challenges is different from people to from one type of person to another. And I went back and I spoke to the teacher, and I told her, because someone teased Pierre, and they always do it behind your back, so the teacher didn't know about it, and Pierre reacted to it, which was wrong. So I told her, please just keep an eye on Pia, and especially this boy, because, you know, I'm also trying to teach Pia, you know, if someone teases you, you know, breathe in, you know, tell them, stop it, I don't like it, communicate. And then if they don't stop, then you have two options. You either walk away, and if that person follows you, or if he hurted you really badly, then you go to a teacher or an adult, or if you see me and I'm there, then obviously me. And then you tell me, then we help you to handle that situation. But by hitting someone or pushing them, you know, it's like, you know, bad behavior, and bad behavior doesn't make good behavior. So I told him that, oh, my back. So I told him that we really need to work on your expression of frustration and then anger. And I spoke obviously to the teacher, but things, you know, just went the way it went. Nothing changed. And I realized that there were some of the kids, because my son is big, he's tall, and then he has a lot of muscles. So when someone, you know, tease him, he's gonna get hurt. But I don't want my kid to, because as I said before, for me he's this gentle giant. So I told him, you know, I just told or said to myself that if I don't take him then out of the school, out of the situation, and help him one-to-one, and obviously he went for, you know, extra therapy as well, then he will be known as the bully, the guy that hurts. And that's not who he is, not at all. So I decided then to take over that role and stimulate him at home. And then later on, when he was at the age where he should go to school, I realized that I have to make a decision. And then I came across someone that you can search for, hashtag Kieswetter Klaskamer, and we became good friends. So I went to Janet and I asked her, you know, what's homeschooling, you know, pros, cons, blah blah blah. And I said, I'm gonna start with this, because for me the scale is weighing like this: homeschool versus schooling, or the schooling system. So for me, the pros and cons are just, you know, if people ask me what's the cons regarding, or the negative or the challenges regarding homeschooling, I would say it's two things. Maybe for other people it's something else, but for me, and I think for the general homeschoolers, it is the fact that there is usually just one constant income from the other parent. So you need to work on your budget then, if you're not, you know, if you're not very wealthy, you know, from the start. And then the other thing is, especially when they were small, you know, they're always with you. So it's awesome to spend so much time with your child, but you know, you always need to keep in mind they're there. And when we went through that very difficult time and we couldn't, you know, afford a domestic worker anymore, it was tough. because I couldn't go anywhere because my kids were with me. And if I go somewhere, I always had to ask, okay, my kids are with me, or remember my kids are with me. So sometimes I could, you know, do something, or, you know, go out with someone, and other times I just had to say no because my kids are with me. But that's, to me, that's the only cons or challenges or negative things I can say about or regarding homeschooling. Social wise, sure. This is not an information session, because I think the documentary will give you a lot more information and answer a lot more questions regarding homeschooling for those of you that, you know, just or thinking about, you know, homeschooling your child, or maybe those of you who have family who homeschool and you're like, oh, my dear family, nieces or nephews, shame. I think people, as I said, and I was one of them, as I said before, we sometimes have the wrong idea regarding something like homeschooling. If I had the opportunity to choose again, I will definitely choose homeschooling again. My kids have so much more time to play. It is awesome when they did the documentary and they asked different groups in their tour to spell out names when it comes to homeschooling. And words that came out was, and not all of it, but was fun, freedom. You have so much more time to spend with your child. And I think that is the great thing about, and family. Today our word was friends. Now what was it? Can't remember, I forgot. Family. Fun. No, it wasn't fun. Okay. Short-term memory loss. But I'm getting there. Anyway, but it's all those things that actually really matters. So I'm not bad-mouthing people that put their kids in school. I think homeschoolers are sometimes more bad-mouthed by people who, you know, do the whole schooling thing. But whatever you choose, you know, you have to make the choice that fits into your lifestyle, and, you know, that you're okay with it. So I hope you guys enjoy this December holiday with your children, every single moment, because it is so, so precious.